Imagine two Australians earning almost the same salary, living similar lives and having the same dream, becoming financially independent, but one of them starts investing at 22, while the other decides to wait. At first, the difference looks almost meaningless. $200 a month doesn't feel like the kind of money that can change your life. So the second person thinks, I'll start when I earn more. Maybe after the next promotion, maybe after buying a house, maybe after paying off the car, and suddenly I'll start later becomes a habit. Then something happens that most people don't notice until it's too late. 10 years disappear, now he's 32, earning more money, and finally feels ready to invest. But here's the problem. He didn't just lose 10 years of investing. He lost 10 years of something far more valuable, time. Because when it comes to investing, time can be more powerful than money. And that's why so many people make the same mistake. They don't necessarily choose the wrong investment, they simply wait too long to choose one. And the scary part is that waiting feels completely reasonable. Your brain tells you that you'll be more prepared next year, you'll earn more, you'll understand investing better, you'll finally feel ready. But why do smart, hard-working people keep putting investing off? It usually isn't because they don't care about their future. In fact, most people care about it a lot. The problem is that our brains are built to prioritize today. Think about it. Spending $200 today gives you something immediately. Investing $200 today gives you something you can't see yet. It's a future version of your life. And because that future feels far away, it feels less important. This is what psychologists call present bias. There's another reason people wait: fear. What if I invest and the market falls? What if I lose my money? So instead of investing, they wait for the market to feel safe. But here's the problem. Markets don't send you an invitation when the perfect moment arrives. Sometimes prices are high, sometimes prices fall, and sometimes everything looks uncertain. If you keep waiting for certainty, you can end up waiting for years. And while you're waiting, someone else is letting time do the work. That's where compound growth changes the entire story, because your money doesn't just have the opportunity to grow. Eventually, the growth can start creating more growth, and that is why starting early can be so powerful. Now let's put some numbers behind this. Imagine Alex starts investing just $200 every month at age 22. That's $200 every month consistently, not $2,000. Not a huge inheritance, just a small amount repeated for a very long time. Now imagine that money earns an average hypothetical return of 7% a year. That's not a promise, and investments can absolutely go down. But let's use 7% simply to understand the power of compounding. If Alex keeps investing until age 62, something surprising happens. The contributions alone add up to $96,000. But the final balance could be dramatically larger because the investment growth has been working too. Under this simplified example, Alex could end up with roughly $500,000. Now let's meet Daniel. Daniel waits until he's 32 before investing the same $200 a month. He hasn't done anything wrong. He's investing the same amount. He's using the same hypothetical 7% return. But Daniel has 30 years instead of 40. And that 10-year difference changes everything. Under the same simplified assumptions, Daniel's portfolio could be around $240,000. That's roughly a $280,000 difference. And here's the shocking part. Alex didn't invest a fortune more than Daniel. Alex simply gave the money 10 extra years to work. And that's the lesson most people discover far too late. Your biggest advantage may not be how much you can invest today. It may be how many years you have ahead of you. Now, this doesn't mean you need to rush out and buy the first investment you see. Starting early doesn't mean investing blindly. It means understanding the basics and giving yourself time. For Australians, there's another important piece of the puzzle: superannuation. Your super can remain invested for decades, depending on your circumstances and chosen investment option. That makes time an important part of the equation. But there's a catch. Some people wait because they're trying to find the perfect time to invest. They're waiting for prices to fall, then prices rise, so they wait for another fall. Before they know it, another year has passed, and then another. This is why trying to predict the perfect entry point can become another form of procrastination. Instead, many long-term investors focus on consistency, investing an amount they can realistically afford on a regular basis. not trying to get rich overnight. Just building a financial habit that can survive for years. And that's where the story changes, because you don't need to be wealthy before you start building wealth. You don't need a six-figure salary, and you don't need to predict tomorrow's market. What you need is a plan you can stick with, and the willingness to give that plan enough time. Because maybe you're watching this and thinking, this sounds great, but what if I'm already too late? Maybe you're 30, maybe you're 40, maybe you're 50, or maybe you simply wish you'd started 10 years ago. It's easy to look backwards and think about what you should have done, but regret doesn't compound. Money that you never invested can't grow, but money you invest today at least gets the opportunity to work. Starting at 40 is not as powerful as starting at 22. But starting at 40 is still more powerful than starting at 50. And starting at 50 is still better than waiting until 60. The best time isn't always the time you wish you had. Sometimes it's the time you still have. So instead of asking, why didn't I start earlier? Ask a better question. What can I do with the time I have left? That question can completely change the way you think about money. Because investing isn't about getting rich quickly. It's about giving your future self more options, more choices, more flexibility, and potentially less financial stress. And it all starts with one decision. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Start with what you can realistically afford. Learn, stay consistent, and give your money time, because the biggest advantage in investing isn't always having more money. It's having more time for your money to potentially grow. So if you've been waiting to start, maybe this is your reminder. You can't invest yesterday, but you can start building tomorrow. Start small if you need to. Start carefully. But most importantly, don't let another 10 years disappear. If this video changed the way you think about investing, subscribe to Finance with Rajeev, because sometimes the most important investment you can make is simply giving yourself more time.